live and with one of us allowed back on the show now that there's no special guests. It's the Vocal Minority Podcast.
I mean,
I wasn't going to say anything.
Hi.
we tried to book a special guest for this week, but it just didn't work out.
Oh, that's why I'm here.
You're not Justin Morrow, Tony. I don't know if you knew that.
Is your voice.
You're Tony, not Justin Morrow. Sorry.
Can I be Jason Marrow?
You be Bone Marrow.
Bone marrow is delicious.
I was gonna say, like on some nice toast, and that would be fine.
Fine. Anywho.
Right. Anyhow, moving on. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Vocal Minority Podcast, the podcast that will have its own line of festival wear up in our Zazzle shop soon. Bucket hats for everyone. On this week's show, we talk about TFC's newest player. Yes, another one. Oh my God. Say farewell to another. Check in on Coachella. The lineup looks amazing. Look ahead to the She Believes Cup and more. And now this week's panel. Currently working on not the festival wear, but the awesome Trillium Cup half and half scarf. It's just Justin Morrow on two ends. Say hello to Mark Hinkley.
I mean, I think we should just rename it the Justin Morrow Cup. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no, I mean, we can just remove the Trillium part out of it. And at least now it has a meaning. It's named after a legend.
Exactly.
And with all that spite behind it, hell, I'll fight for it too.
The Spite Cup.
Sponsored
by Sprite.
If it's a Justin Morrow half and half, what half is on where?
That's a good
like,
question.
Is one side is like waist upwards and the other side is like waist downwards?
Maybe.
Cool.
I want to put as long as there's a very small part in there that goes, and what about Cincinnati? Because, I mean, we all forget that they're also in Ohio. And it's also arguably their cup.
Exactly.
It becomes more interesting if they were just to be interjected into it. Or if we just hand it over to Ohio, just, here, fill your boots, guys.
Exactly. I would always, I would we've been sort of calling for this for a while, but yeah, anyway.
They're Kentucky cuddlers.
Psyched for DJ Insigne. Say hello to Tony Walsh.
Hi.
So psyched. Like, tone it down. It's a family show.
Is he at Coachella?
Still, probably. Still locked in the closet. Duncan will not be with us again this week, but he is asked for some,
You're reintroducing us back into the wild gradually, one at a time.
Yeah, like we're giving him some reading materials, and yeah, he's doing good.
We're like white rhinos or something.
Something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a thing, right?
It totally is.
Okay. Well, didn't know if I was making that up or not.
No, you're not.
Naked mole rats? That's a thing, right?
Yes. Why do you?
Okay.
Yeah.
I have my reasons. As you are.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, moving on now. As for me, I'm still a wee bit giddy about meeting our new best friend, Justin Morrow. But I will, I'll just soldier on. I am your host, Kristen Knowles. And now to our show.
Ride that for years. Ugh.
So long. So what's been going on? The first thing up is Justin Morrow is the nicest person. Do you know how nice Justin Morrow is?
No, I don't.
Did you know that Mark and I met Justin Morrow last week?
I heard.
I was there and I'm still shocked.
Oh yeah, you listened? Oh, that's so nice. He sounded so good, right? Like, what thoughtful, actually, seriously. Fucking gentleman, what a good interview. What a good interview. It's delightful. Although that Trillium Cup story, that might be one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah, I mean, I just hate the fact that we only found out about it well after we stopped playing for it, when everybody was just kind of like, why do I care?
Yeah,
it was like now there was meaning behind it, and
now I want to care.
That's all I wanted was a meaning. And again, being the two closest geographic air quotes rivals, because it really weren't. That wasn't enough. Not even close. So I might say not even close. I mean, it's 5+ hours. That's really not even close.
There was horticulture on the line.
The botanists insisted.
Yeah. Big flower got involved.
Big botany got in the way. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Don't want to be in the pocket of big botany.
No. Oh my God, man. They will fuck you up. It's kind of like it's like poison ivy, only more scientific and less bat creatures and things. But speaking of the Trillium Cup, so we literally were in the room with the Trillium Cup, and
did you talk to it? Is it nice?
A little bit, but like honestly, and if there had been maybe a few less latches, I might have been all up in that case. I was tempted. I did have. Well, I wanted to see.
You're a guest to the place. Don't go getting all up in anything when you're a guest.
Well, somewhere. I didn't. I'm just saying I was tempted.
Right.
I behaved.
You're a representative of this show and of Two Soccer Tirana Holdings Limited.
Oh, right. I forgot. Damn. Fine. Anyway. It was a very funny thing to turn around and be like, does that say what it? Yeah, this Trillium Cup. Yeah, I have pictures of the case that says Trillium Cup.
Is that the only Trillium Cup? Or is there one in Columbus too? Is there like a replica? Like, they do that
because it was
with a lot of trophies.
I feel like maybe it is the only one because it was in a fairly sturdy case. Like it was, had just been wheeled in from somewhere else, or they were getting ready to wheel it elsewhere. I don't know.
I feel it's probably more of a burden for the club who has to keep it.
Maybe that's why it just stays in the case.
Fine. We'll take care of it.
I guess it's our turn. But yeah, it was quite the thing. I know Mark was just like waiting for me to notice. It's like, oh, what is this?
Was the Carlsberg Cup there?
I found it.
No, we did not see the Carlsberg Cup. Sorry, but did see the infamous trophy cases with the little niches for all the various hardware that has been won and is desired to be won, and so on and so forth. So that was kind of cool.
Any Inukshooks?
No, I was disappointed by the
closet where they keep them all. With those little mini hiking tees?
With the little mini hiking bungees. Yeah, no. We looked. No
Band of Allegiance drawer.
No, unfortunately.
This place sucks.
I know, but the food is good. I'll say that much.
Did you visit the Bitchy Cemetery?
We weren't allowed. Plus, it was fucking cold outside. My hands almost froze walking over to that fucking place. Jesus Christ. There needs to be
wait. You mean the Causoleum? Thank you. Sorry, my silence has been like desperately trying to come up with a good name for this place.
Oh, that's amazing. The Causoleum.
There you go.
That should be the latest shirt in the Zazzle shop. The Bitchy Causoleum.
Yeah, featuring Bitchies 1 through 4 and 6.
Too soon.
I love it. Anyway. So on to anyway, but it was a cool experience being up there, even though it was like the worst day ever to have gone up there because it was freezing fucking cold. And the Google Maps instructions of walk vaguely in this direction when you're like cutting through 7 parking lots trying to be like, is this the right direction? And praying that it is. Yeah, good times. But the rest of it was fabulous and fun. And Justin Morrow. We got to meet Justin Morrow, which was so great. Sorry. Not sorry. Okay, a little bit sorry about the gushing. I apologize. I'll stop. Time to move on. Let's move on to something else. Actual news. So, finally, it is officially official. Sigurd Rosted is a member of TFC.
Can we call him Sigurd Ross Ted? Like As if he's Ted, the bassist
yeah,
from
we
Sigur
can.
Rós.
Yeah, naturally.
Ted Bassistson. Keyboardson. Oh, Keyboardson sounds better. Ted Keyboardson. And
well, I was just saying which
sister Keyboard's daughter.
I'm just like, which one is more likely to play defense though? Gotta consider like.
Well, keyboard covers a lot more area.
And
Bass.
can be, yeah, but bass does a lot, man. I'm sticking.
Yeah.
I think
keyboard's more of your stay at home, center back. Where I think the bass is more your ball playing defender. Has a bit of like movement to it. Get those pings off.
Yeah, I feel like I don't think this guy roams very much. Anyway, the exciting thing though is that it's official. It's finally done. He's here. He's with the team out west now. 3-year deal with an option for 2026, and one of the exciting things is that he's on this side of he's in his 20s. He's on this side of 30, which is great. An actual younger player. I do love how TFC like finds a country and like commits to it, every season. This year it's clearly Norway with the acquisition and selling of players. That's the thing. So AHA is the new, must be just echoing through the locker room, to balance out the Italians. I don't know.
I hope he doesn't get any wrench injuries.
You're so weird.
What? It's from the video. Remember?
The
wrench?
Yes.
Or if he has to slam himself against walls to turn himself into a real boy.
Not everything's black and white, Tony.
Hey.
Look, it took a few seconds. I didn't even realize what you were talking about, the wrench thing.
Can you stop drawing this out?
Mark, the transcript of Mark's joke will be in Comic Sans.
Now, I have one small quibble with our new defender. And that is that during one of his caps for the Norwegian national team, the sole goal that he scored was the game winner in a friendly back in 2018 against Albania. Against Albania! How dare you?
The things you do for hate, Kristen, it's really alarming.
I'm really working to manufacture this.
Like just like stretch, like you're gonna dislocate.
I said it's a
everything.
quibble. I didn't say hate. I said quibble.
Quibble.
If he
hate.
performs
What's the
well for
difference?
us, I will let this go and we will never speak of it ever again. It's fine. I won't ask him to sign my KS Castriati kit or anything like that, or my Albanian scarf or my Albanian kit. None of those things. I won't. I would never do that.
I'm trying to picture a reality where you actually do ask him to autograph any one of those things.
I would do. Are you kidding? If there was an opportunity, of course I would do it.
What's the situation that needs to take place where you have a marker,
I need to be one of the people
jersey
that
and him? What like really?
No, I need to be one of those people that shows up to a TFC match early and waits outside of gate 4, where the players go in and often sign things. That's what I would have to do. Or wait till after the match because that's where the players come out and often sign things.
But you would actually get him to sign
Something
shirt
Albanian?
of a club that he never will play for or never play or would never put on.
Yeah, totally.
That seems very strange. I don't think you autograph very often.
I don't. You know that. Who's the first player I ever had autograph a kit? Come on. Thank you.
But
the
what
other
did he
two are
sign?
serious.
What did he sign?
Well,
was it a Juventus kit? Was it a Juventus kit? No,
I would
it was
never have a Juventus kit. How dare you?
Because it was his team he actually played for. If you're going to wear an Albanian shirt, he never played for Albania. Why would you get this? Is the point I'm trying to disconnect. I'm trying to understand.
Because it was his one international goal. I think he would appreciate it. I think he would understand it and think it was, I think he would find that interesting and memorable and perhaps a bit funny. That's why.
I'm going to go with desecration of a kit, but that's just me. Continue.
Desecration?
Alarmed.
We might have to bring this up on the next Kit Nerd podcast. I'm just saying. Anyway, with the now official edition of Mr. Ross Ted at TFC, along with Matt Hedges, along with Sean Johnson, along with Raul. Oh my God, what's his last name?
Julia.
Him, yes. Thank you. Loved him in Kiss of the Spider Woman.
Was he in Double Dragon or Mortal Kombat? Can't remember.
Neither. He was in Street Fighter.
That's it. Yes. I was like, wait, that's not lining up in my brain. Yes, it was Street Fighter.
Amazing. That was amazing that there was 2 other movies and I forgot about that. What was this character called, Mark? He wore like a
M. Bison.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Oh God, I never would have gotten that. I just remember him
these
being
are
in
movie
it.
questions. These are video game questions. That's how I know this.
Anyway,
we should talk about the Wizard.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on, the movie was like produced by Nintendo's Power Glove.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm pretty sure we've had this conversation on the show before.
Probably.
Probably. It sounds very much like one of ours.
This has our fingerprints all over it, Tony. I think
all over it.
So does a Nintendo Power Glove.
Hey.
Well, actually, no, it wouldn't. Maybe on the inside.
Anyway,
your fingerprints wouldn't be all over.
I can already feel the power. Okay.
If you were wearing 2 Nintendo Power Gloves, did they come in a left and a right, or like what about? I bet they didn't. But if you were a left-handed kid, you were fucked.
You had to suffer. Petretta, that's his last name. There we go. I was like, what the fuck? I knew. Anyway, so forgetting the other, so we've got obviously Victor Vasquez back in the midfield. We'll see if that helps anything. Diamande up front. And then I still like that they've got Hugo Mbonge listed as a first team player. So they are keeping him away from TFC2 from the looks of it. We'll see how well that goes. But mostly with the defensive additions, do you feel better about Toronto's prospects for the 2023 season?
Yes. In general, yes. Of course, it's hard to predict. And of course, with bringing in a lot of new players is going to be that gelling period. But I think concentrating on the defense probably still needs a bit of depth in case of injuries or what have you through the season. But I think concentrating mostly on that in the last little while has been good. But I feel better about that lineup, that starting lineup at least, than I did, I guess, at the beginning of the window or whenever that was.
Marcus?
I definitely think it's on the upswing. I think this is much better. I feel like the gaps that we kind of were missing or felt there was inconsistency and needed replacement have been addressed. Depth is always going to be a thing because you never know if what you have is any good until they actually get out on the pitch. I kind of felt like we had the right depth, as weird as that is, given how little they actually got to play. But it was the starting 11 that was kind of like, they had moments. They absolutely had moments. So, getting 2 central defenders, getting a definitive number 1 keeper. I think those were super important, and we got that journeyman lifer MLS defender that hopefully we can set our watch to. And 6'2" Norwegian giant, which is nice too. Like I feel like it's the right mix of, youth and experience. One can teach the other type thing. So, and hopefully, there's always going to be that awkward gelling process, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3 games. Sometimes it takes 5 or 6 games. Sometimes it doesn't. But I feel like the doesn't happens less infrequently, but it's just so much more stark when it does happen. This is I think these are all in the right direction. Crescido buggering back off notwithstanding, I felt like this is good. This is in the right direction. This is the direction I was hoping it would go in. Let's put it that way.
It'd be interesting if Daddy uses his defense differently.
Well,
because he's got more talent. I wonder if he will set up the same way or have the same. Will they be more aggressive? Will they try to be more link up? Well, a lot of last year, I think, just because of who was back there, he was kind of maybe Daddy was limited in what he could do.
Daddy.
Jesus.
Daddy.
For me, yes, I do think this is there's definitely an improvement. Obviously, a couple, whatever on paper, some very strong, central defenders. The Sean Johnson as our keeper is a huge get, and I think massively important. My only concern, and it was a concern last year as well, and it doesn't seem to have been resolved very much. Yes, they went out and signed an actual left back, so that was nice. But most of the defenders that are signed to TFC are center backs. So Lucas McNaughton, center back. Shane O'Neill, center back. Luke Singh, who knows where he plays these days? He's been welcome back to TFC. Good luck, young man. Caden Chung. Now Caden Chung, he's an outside back, so that's one. You obviously have Richie Larea and Raul Petretta. Those are your starters, but backing them up currently is not much. And then you go into the midfield, what's available in the midfield. And there are, and we'll talk about shortly, but a midfield that is no longer, a couple of them.
But Richie Larea isn't a long-term
no, exactly.
Either.
He's probably gone in the summer. So Kosi Thompson, JMR is still there. Now JMR is not a defender, but he's a fielder. But it's just going to be interesting. I'll be curious if we start seeing, depending on the opponent or the health of the many central defenders, who are in varying degrees of, development, ascendancy or descendancy in their careers. Shane O'Neill, good journeyman defender, probably not going to play for much longer. He's not ancient or anything, but he's not going to get a ton of minutes, but it's good to have him. Lucas McNaughton, obviously young player on the ups. And so it's just interesting to sort of look at the composition. And I feel like one of my concerns with Rob Bradley last year was, and I think we said this was, Greg Vanney first season syndrome, trying to fit, square pegs into round holes. And we saw that with Jacob Schaffelberg, who is now apparently gone on to great success in Nashville in the beautiful mullet he's been sporting lately.
It's the law.
True.
Things like that, where it was like, oh, well, maybe you can play in this position. No, you can't. All right, good. Because you never learned that position. And why would you suddenly be able to? Anyway, so it'll be interesting. But on an overall basis, I do think the talent level has definitely come up. I think the fact that the majority of the acquisitions, and there might be one more perhaps in the pipes right now, but the vast majority of the players they needed in the positions they needed them in are in camp right now, which didn't happen last season at all. There's been, for the most part, for I think most of these players, proper off season. Great. So I think rested players and at least a good chunk of the preseason opportunity to be together and to gel, more for the international players than everybody else. But I think there's a better sense, I think, that these guys will have knowledge of one another and actually be able to, set foot out on the pitch on opening day and not look like, who are you? What's happening? So that's nice.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, did I lose you guys again?
We were trying to give you ample segue room.
Sorry. All right. Well, what we are talking about, and there are lots of things that we are talking about. And the first one, we're gonna shift to the Voyageurs Cup. One, the dates and locations for the first round of matches have now been officially announced. But amongst that is the hilarity. That is the neutral site match. Neutral site match, you ask? Why does there have to be a neutral site?
Is it Baltimore?
Hopefully it's
Sadly,
Baltimore.
no. I know, right? Like all neutral site matches should be in Baltimore.
I love the Baltimore CPL Stallions.
Good times.
The best. However, due to some sort of weird scheduling fuckery in Halifax, something to do with how many early on in the year, how many matches a week can be played. I don't know. There's something weird. I don't
is
have
it
all
like
the
one
details.
of those community rules of that stadium or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
It's not
So
like
because
it's not
of
like
this,
like a Donaire festival is in town.
No, it's not. That's like, I think that's the next week.
Okay.
And because Halifax is supposed to be hosting this, they can't put it in Ottawa TD Place. So instead, they're having it at the YU Guys Stadium up at York.
Oh, well, at least the crowd will look similar.
Oh, no, I was thinking it's going to be like if fans stay, this would be like the biggest crowd that York has seen ever. So
why
yeah, so you
why wouldn't they try like Moncton or something?
Or another university. Like there's like 3 in the area.
And that's the thing. Like I don't know, and I should have obviously done some more research into this as to why they didn't go.
Quebec is there.
Build some outreach, right? Yeah, exactly. Like make some inroads into the community. Why put it?
What's the name of the park in St. John's where the World Cup famous match was in '86?
Oh, King George V.
King George, yeah. That's not
good point.
Yeah, it's a great point. That's why I'm here.
It's true.
But the the other thing about this particular match being held up at York Lions Stadium, is that it's a double header. That's right.
Oh, sexy times.
So Halifax hosting the Atleti at 5:00 Eastern time.
My God.
Followed by the YU Guys hosting, what are we calling them? The Space Penises? Is that what we call them?
That's what I'm calling them. They were angry space penises. I can't remember what the full. We had a good name for them.
We did,
and now I can't remember.
And I've lost it. Anyway, so that
because it was based on a song. Shit.
Well, you
have to go back in the archive.
You ruminate on that. The other Vancouver team, the other BC team, at 8:00. So it's a CanPL Voyageurs Cup first round double header in the middle of April, in the middle of the week.
All right.
Wednesday night, people. Yeah.
Come for the Halifax, stay for other.
Basically, you're already up there. You might as well stay.
I mean, the good thing is, Kristen, if you go to this game, you can see at least 3 of the 8 teams you like. So I'm just not sure anymore which the ones they are. I've lost track.
And if you're bored, Jim Brennan and Chris Posnack will be playing tennis at the nearby tennis center.
Nice.
Well, now you have my attention. None of those teams are the teams. Well, maybe Halifax.
Yeah.
Um,
York
Shut
too.
up. No. I like their new social media direction and focus on things. I do not like the team. I appreciate the team behind the team right now. However, so we've got Forge hosting Laval. God, I just called them Forge. Oh, I hate myself. On Tuesday, April 18th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time at the Double Double. And the Snowflakes hosting Vaughn
thought it was
at
the
Stade
Coffee Ground.
Saputo. Oh, the Coffee Ground. You're right.
Coffee ground. Yeah.
Thank you.
We actually just I think we made that the name. Better than like the fucking donut box. That's stupid.
Oh, the Coffee
Donut
Ground
box.
is fucking amazing.
It's
That's
right there. It's all
It is
right
right
there.
there. It is right there. And then also, if you want to, you can't watch. Well, you can watch all three matches if you can hustle to a bar or a friend's house. Apparently, assuming you are up at
Friends.
I know who has those.
show.
Up at York. But there's three matches on the Wednesday. So you've got Wanderers versus Atleti, Why You Guys versus Angry Space something. And then the Rovers, go Rovers, hosting the Grey Mice at Swangard, which is going to be, that'll be packed. That's going to be awesome. But that's 10:30 local Eastern time, 7:30 local time. And then day all to themselves, Aquaman hosting the Pony Boys on the Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern time at Starlight. So that'll be great. I'm very tempted to try and go to a couple of these in that week.
Well, go to York. You'll get a couple right off the bat.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You will fulfill the quota which you just set out
Indeed.
in one go.
But how long does it take? Does it take as long to get to York as it does to get to the BMOT G? Because
You
man, that
literally
was
have an
painful.
express bus from your home there.
Does that go to York?
Yes.
Oh.
God, do you even public transit? Jeez.
Look, I used to work in Concord, but I blocked that from much of my memory because it was painful and I hated that job.
Were you a grape?
I
got crushed a lot, let me tell you.
I was going with the jet one, but that'll
Oh,
do
that's
too.
good too.
But anyway, yeah, like it's right up the street. I mean, it's
All
when
right.
I say right up the street, it is up. Right,
It is a street.
But it's not for those who have a lack of imagination. It's not like it's a walk. I mean, it is in the sense that you could get there by foot, but do you have hours? It's a long walk. But yeah, it's literally up the street. So
Could you call it up the creek?
ooh.
I don't
Since it-
want to wait.
Yeah, since it's Black Creek. No, I was thinking of the movie Up the Creek.
Oh.
80,
Yeah, there's
80
that
sensation, Up the Creek.
Says Seth Green. Right? Seth
I don't
Green?
know. I'm not. No, you're thinking of a later one. This is much earlier.
Oh, you said 80s. Yeah, no, it wouldn't be Seth Green in the 80s. Or
No.
he'd be a child, not.
You move on. I'll look up the Creek.
Okay, please do.
I'll get back to you on that.
Thanks. You do that. But anyway, so there's some good matchups, but it's just the funny thing with the Halifax thing. But there's opportunities to see a bunch of games, especially if you live in Ontario. But if you have the ability to go to Swangard to see the Rovers, I highly suggest you do so because amazing. And yeah, go support your local soccer. Go support the Voyageurs Cup because it's awesome. It's awesome.
I feel like we do this bit every V Cup, and it's not wrong. But yeah, go.
It's the best thing.
Even if you're like nearby for the double header at Estadio del Empty, go see Halifax, Ottawa, and North Toronto versus Vancouver. I mean, why not? Just why not? It's right there. You're welcome. Back to you,
Bob
Chris.
McGraw, Max, Gonzer, and Irwin, students at Lepetomane University, known derisively by some as Lobotomy U, are volunteered to compete in a collegiate RAF race. They are recruited by crusty Dean Birch, who uses records of McGraw's checkered past as a means of blackmail to get them to compete. Oh, wow.
Starring
Tim Matheson, Don Monahan, Sandy Helberg,
right.
Stephen First,
Of
Jennifer
course,
Runyon,
yes.
and
Oh
as
my
Tozer, James Sicking.
That's amazing.
Dean Birch was played by John Hillerman, a crusty
Oh,
Dean.
that's fantastic. That's so funny. All right, thank you for looking up that vital information. I appreciate
That's
that.
all right. The main song from it, even though the soundtrack had various artists, the main song was "Up the Creek."
Bye.
Cheap Trick.
Because Cheap Trick. Yeah, no. I was just making sure.
Yeah.
Well, Dan
As you were.
Matheson's in it, like it's half Canadian, so that's awesome. Okay.
You're welcome.
Moving on from one of our favorite tournaments to tournament / music festival / preseason warm up. Your Toronto FC are now appearing at Coachella. That's right. They're at the Coachella Festival. It's not really a festival.
Bernardeschi featuring Bad Bunny.
Exactly. I think Bernardeschi totally has some DJ vibes. I know I said DJ Insigne in the intros, but Bernardeschi has either already a side hustle as a DJ or like he's transitioning into it post football.
Bernardeschi strikes me more as just one of those dancers, like Bez with maracas and Happy Mondays.
Really? See, I totally see him like
just
behind
big,
the decks. He's
doing
like,
it. I don't know.
Because he's such a hype guy. Like he want to be hyping up the crowd.
Yeah, he'd just be a dancer. He'd be like with the maracas. He'd be like Bez. Not Bez Pachenko.
Now,
if Bez
when he takes
Pachenko was
off
in
the
the Happy
tie,
Mondays, that'd be hilarious. Talk about shaking your maracas. Tim Bez Pachenko.
Damn. Get after it.
But yes, so Coachella, they'll be appearing alongside Blondie and let's see who else. Rosalia, Underworld. Come on, give it up for Underworld. Pusha T, Wet Leg, awesome. If you haven't heard their album, you gotta listen to it. It's so good. Frank Ocean, massive. Gorillaz, which I think is that plus the Chemical Brothers is the show that we're all going to after Bernie's opening set is over, of course. Anyway,
I'm more curious as to is there anybody at Coachella that I've actually heard of, because like I'm clearly an old fart.
Yes, Miguel Aceval, Luis Silva, and Nick Sulzma.
Oh
no, sorry, that's different Chemical Brothers.
Yeah. Yeah, the Los Escobar Trace.
Ooh, that's the sound of the police. Ooh.
Club Bruges.
Yes.
Oh God, too good.
Hey, I forgot to mention. I don't think this was in the rundown. I'm sorry. I'm kind of jump ahead. Did you see Tosaint Ricketts is the new head of engagement at Vancouver Whitecaps?
Hi.
Yeah.
That's somebody else.
Didn't we sort of discuss it, or did I imagine that we discussed it?
Oh, you maybe. Yeah, you might have. Anyways, sorry. I just saw that.
We might have glossed over that part.
I feel like if we had, and I'm sure the listeners who pay attention to it better than I do, which would be almost everyone, I feel like if we had said the phrase head of engagement, that would have been its entirely own digression into silliness. And we didn't. So like, I'm literally going by Did I do a Toe St. Ricketts and bad impersonation of him saying hi in a totally different way? No, I don't think I did. So, So that's not a made up position. That's actually a real thing, huh?
Oh no,
Shit.
I'm still saying it. I'm still saying it's made up. They just,
Give him a week. Apparently, he'll be like the assistant GM. Like it's just that's the progression, right?
Yeah.
You engage people and then you scout, and that's how it works. That's your career trajectory.
But it's toss, and so I feel one that he will take this incredibly seriously.
sorry,
Two,
he's Whitecaps FC liaison, club and player engagement. So that's a mouthful, but that's what it is.
that's interesting. But
That business
again,
card folds. That's how long that takes.
Whitecaps FC liaison, and then on a second line, club and player engagement. Well, congratulations on the club and the players for getting engaged, though. That's lovely.
Oh. I just want everyone to find happiness. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I totally feel like, again, he'll use this as a stepping stone to go do something else, just because I feel like he's ambitious. And he's a smart boy. He's gone to school. He got his degree, and one of the many athletes that has an MBA, but did it, over the last few years while being a player. Like I remember him tweeting about it and talking about it and things like that. So
What are
you go
mountains if not
engage those.
stepping stones?
Anyway, so at the Coachella Festival, Toronto lost their first
What?
rap battle.
Oh, it's over.
Also happens when apparently all the matches are at the Empire Polo Club. Like, come on.
Ooh, hello.
Hello. You have the BMOT G. We have the Empire Polo Club.
No.
Yes.
I bet you don't even have proper horses.
No, they have
I'm
tauntauns.
sorry. We have a dress
It's
code
a Star
here.
Wars joke.
Oh, did you say tauntaun?
Empire.
Sorry, I missed it. I was chatting. Apologies.
The
Anyway.
Empire Polo Club. Yeah, I wonder. I get that they'd be like the Grand Moff Tarkins. You're like high end officers. They wouldn't be like stormtroopers.
Oh, for sure.
Stormtroopers littering the crowd. But yeah, the polo team is made up of I'm sure Vader would be there. Bit awkward, but because he cheats,
but
he cheats with being able to move the ball.
Apparently, like stormtroopers, Bernadeschi couldn't hit a target to save his life today. No, he missed a penalty.
Love affair over.
He was our go-to guy last season for penalties because no one else could hit them except for him. So I don't know. Got a bad feeling about this.
Season's over.
Thank you, Mark.
Good
They've
times.
got two more matches coming up, or engagements or throwdowns, versus Zombie Shivas on Saturday and the Timbers next Wednesday. Now, today's was not live streamed, and I mean, what are we paying all these highfalutin ticket prices to Coachella for if we don't get a fucking live stream? So I don't know. I'm upset.
They better not be sneaking off to watch Uncle Waffles.
Seriously. Like, go Facebook Live or something. Come on. It's not that hard. Janet. Although if someone could definitely do a Facebook Live or something, Instagram Live for Idris Elba's set, I would really appreciate that.
You don't want to watch Los Fabulosos Cadillacs?
Yeah.
Chris and the Mavingas?
Well, there you go. That I would watch. I am curious to know though if Soul Glow just plays that song, "Let Your Soul Glow," which was the commercial for the hair product.
Yeah. Better be.
If they just do that over and over again over some solid beats, man, I will watch that. I would totally watch that. I really hope that's what it is. It's probably not. I'm going to be sad, but that would be awesome. Yes, I'm old and I don't fucking care.
I hope Idris Elba doesn't do a DJ set and instead solves a crime.
That would be so Idris Elba. Let's be honest. That would be the most Idris Elba thing I could think of.
This could be his transition into Bond.
About time.
You know, Bond has to solve, you know, like kind of like Daniel Craig at the Dia de los Muertos in whichever fucking Bond movie. That was actually a cool scene, though. This would be Elba's at Coachella. Bond at Coachella. Let's make this happen, people.
You could have sold him out comparing, like, you know, he has to do his scene at Coachella. But running through crowds of kids on
isn't some horrible American studio in charge of the Bond stuff now, though? Doesn't Disney own them?
I don't know. Don't tell me Barbara Broccoli's not involved anymore.
Well, I don't know. I feel like there was like an unseemly involvement.
Invented broccoli.
Chopping broccoli. I'm concerned that, you know, I feel like I read something about that and that the whole Bond franchise was just going to go off the freaking rails. I don't know. But they're going to reboot it for like the 12,000th time anyway. So as long as it's not as...
Efron's going to be the next one then.
Good Lord. I will never watch another Bond movie. Although the last two were almost unwatchable, so it's fine. So say I. Moving on.
Right. Kristen Knowles on the aisle. Let's go.
No, seriously, the last two were terrible. They were just drudgery and like.
There's been worse. They were clunky, but
they were relentlessly serious and I don't care for Pierce Brosnan. Wow, he wasn't given. No, anyway,
not his fault. Those movies were trash.
No, it's not his fault. What, Pierce Brosnan or Daniel Craig?
Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, no, it totally wasn't Pierce Brosnan's fault. He was an amazing Bond. He got fucked over big time.
I don't know if he was an amazing Bond. He was a great Remington Steele, though.
Oh, yes. God damn. That show, man. And Stephanie Zimbalist. She was great, too. Other than the fact that she was awesome, but a female character who did not run in heels. She either took her shoes off or she had sensible fucking shoes. That's right. She was a trailblazer.
That's how Zimbalist rolls.
Know it. All right. Moving on to a bit of to me, a bit sad and also a little, this is something I was sort of like alluding to when we were talking about TFC's roster that's currently at Coachella and in their preseason. Jaden Nelson. It's been a rumor for some time that he had interest from Europe and that TFC were open to moving him. And they seem very eager in this last several months to sort of cast off young players, young Canadian players that in the early parts of last season they were leaning on, but who also contributed significantly to TFC's minutes and roster for a large part of last season.
Daddy's had enough of those pesky kids.
Well, and see, but this is what frustrates me is that, like, one of the things that was sort of touted when Bob Bradley was signed was that how much he likes to coach young talent, how much this is part of his, like, coaching philosophy and his coaching toolkit. And it did not seem that way to me. And it has not seemed that way to me. And certainly since their season ended, it's been like, you know, off you go, boys. Here's a life jacket. See you later. Like, I'm still waiting for them to say that they've sold JMR. I mean, I really hope that doesn't happen. But again, if you listen to the show or if you happen to know me and have, you know, stand near me at a match or something, I'm a big fan of Jaden Nelson's. Not just the floppy hair, although delightful. And he's talented. And I think he improved greatly throughout last season. And I think he's one of the players that really showed, you know, a progression and, you know, shook off, early mistakes and stuff. And he's now signed, speaking of Norway, to FC Rosenborg.
Yeah, but that's not, you know, from his point of view, that's not a bad move. They're Europe's plucky underdog. They've taken a few upset results in European competition before that have been a launching pad for people's careers to go to bigger clubs in Europe. So
For him as a player, I think I'm happy for him to have this opportunity.
There is the side of it where Toronto FC once again seems to be like, floating off their young prospects. But for him, I mean, if they weren't going to use him, good for him for taking a chance and trying somewhere else with a decent low level club with a history of getting noticed. So it's not so bad for him.
No, for him. And obviously, you're a 20-year-old player and like decent European club is super interested in you and wants to throw a buttload of money at your club to get you. You're in the last year your contract. It's uncertain as to how the club's going to use you in the coming season. No, this is for him personally. It's a great move. I just think for TFC, it's not a great move, in that I don't think that they're looking at him the way they should be personally.
Well, I think their philosophy their philosophy
on young players is well known.
No, it's not that there is no philosophy. They seem to be a bit aimless the last 5 years, even of what to do with their young players.
I know.
Yeah, that I would agree. I feel like there's still like that meaningful gap between reservist / bench player to, I think he's ready. Like we see flashes of brilliance. Just about every kid that's come off the bench in the last 5 years has had like at least like a 20-minute stretch was like, okay. All right. I get it. I see what he's about. And then expecting lightning to strike again under crappier circumstances, different team, different play, like whoever he's playing with that one time versus this next time. Enough changes, or maybe the pressure's on now. It's like, wow, you did so good on your debut. Let's see if you can do it again. They're just not quite like ready for that pressure. Like the talent is there. It's just the consistency, but also the meaningful minutes to develop that consistency. And it's really hard for these kids to break through when you've got effectively, like in some cases, import talent in front of you. Like, are we really going to play? Like, is Daddy really sitting there going, thanks, Tony. Daddy's really going there, is really sitting there going, do I play the $8 million guy or the league minimum guy? Like in a tie, they're always going to play the guy that gets the big bucks, because it's soccer, still North American version of it. It's the flavor of it, right? We got to play the stars, never mind the results. And that's just the circumstance of it, right? So these guys need meaningful minutes. And I mean, the worst thing that MLS could ever possibly do is literally buy like the equivalent of a club and just fill it with like generation Adidas talent and let them go play in the Elite Seren, the Allsvenskan, like any league. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't have to be a Scandinavian league, but just meaningful minutes against opposition, first team opposition, who aren't just going through the motions of trying to be loose for their call up to Sporting Kansas City. You know what I mean? They're just like this. They all look at it. This is it. This is where we want to be. And I mean, I think the thing that surprises me the most is that this is like, it's not alone, is it? Like he's going.
Oh, he's going. He's gone. He's signed. But
it's not alone, right? No. That's what I mean. So, granted, the loan kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off too. Like he's his own, kind of like he's his own. This club wants to take a chance on him. Let's see what happens. And I mean, depending on how you want to look at player development, as far as like that step of professionalism, like is the Norwegian league, how big of a step is it from say TFC2 or MLS's bench, etc. Whatever your metrics are, I think it's a good move, provided of course he gets time. And that's all I want for all these kids, is to get meaningful minutes, not reserve league, not TFC 2 or 3. Those are good, but that's not the same. So I'll power to him. And I look forward to him coming back, playing for St. Louis and scoring a goal against us. because
and then trading for him.
and then trading for him for even more than what we gave up. So
I mean, it's been a long time since we've had another. Well, it's been a long time since Osorio, and I say that meaning, when's the last time? Who's the last person that TFC really developed into a starter from the academy?
I mean, the asterisk might be Shaffles.
Sure. Okay.
I say the asterisk because he's becoming the starter somewhere else. But
like,
development
does
through
Richie
the academy-
Larea get any time in that conversation?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. My apologies to
No, there
young
aren't
Richmond.
many, but I do think, but I think, Jaden Nelson, absolutely no, he absolutely fits that bill. Like he is. I was talking to my dad about this earlier because my dad also unhappy that he's been allowed, that they've sold him. Mostly because my dad is angry the team seems to be getting older instead of younger. But also we like young Canadian players. We want to see them do well. We want to see them played. But what I was saying is that, there's a lot of things. So TFC gets a healthy infusion of cash from all reports. They're going to get like $1 million for him, if not more. But they get to keep that. It's $1 million plus whatever the selling your homegrown players rule is within MLS. MLS doesn't get anything up to a certain level. Toronto gets to keep pretty much all the money they're going to get from this sale. But no, he's been with the academy since he was like 14, I think. Long time. Like he is truly, and this is so they get to sell a really talented player who will be part of I think you'll see him featured more and more in the national team over the next couple of years. But also they get to tout their abilities to develop a young player.
I'm not, oh man. Like I understand what you're saying is that like the idea, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, that TFC's academy is kind of like it's a destination in itself for development. But there's still like it's like the missing link. And Osorio is arguably the missing link. That step between you got here and you're the finished product, and now you can play for the first team, have a full career, be a homegrown boy, stay here and have a storybook career. He is an outlier. And there will be more in the future, but to get to the point where it's almost a factory, we joke and jest every time the word Barcelona comes up, because that's kind of what they do. And I realize I would love TFC to be the first one to churn out players, but until there's that
But you don't think the fact that he's been with them since he was 14, this is his only club. He played 2 years with the first team and is now being sold for a hefty chunk of change. Again,
how much?
Issues
how much
with
is it? I always blanked on that one.
Well, TFC hasn't announced it. God, where did I see it? Transfer Market had it north of $1 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what though? Like that's like it's still outlier. I know what you're like. I still know what you're trying to say, but it's still enough. Now, if he goes there and lights up the Norwegian league, then I say that I think the pendulum swings more to TFC is a place where you can develop and become a pro, like fully, like from cradle to grave.
I'm not saying you can. I'm saying that TFC will use this as marketing. I'm not saying they are. My issues with their academy and the fact that they fucked around their academy off and on. 1 year they concentrate on it and care about it, and then for 2 years they're just like, whatever. You guys figure it out, play some games and blah blah blah.
But I mean, but who's the marketing to? You mean like up and coming players?
up and coming players, but also
Sure.
other teams in other leagues saying, look, we got some young Canadian talent here, you want some of this kind of thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, but honestly, like that's kind of what the CanPL wants to be anyway. Like in its heart of hearts, if it can, it sells on every single one of its players and makes a buck off of it. And all the CanPL is doing is taking our air quotes finished products and just putting them in a shop window.
Yeah.
So if TFC is doing that, same deal. Like realistically, while MLS is probably paying some of his salary, if not most of it, how much does MLS get of that transfer? And I think it favors TFC. So it
not favors TFC. So so reports are between 800,000 to $1 million USD for him. I saw a number of things that said it was $1 million plus. And MLS rules, if it's a homegrown player, they get to keep $1 million point blah 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 of the transfer fee.
Most
all to TFC. Nothing to MLS up until after that.
And then if that's the case, then why not? I mean, this is a business. It's, and I know I'm not saying anything that's going to surprise anyone here.
I know.
It's a business. It's a business to make money. If we can, we go and buy a Venezuelan kid who's hot and supposed to be the next big thing, with the hopes that because we paid out $5 million for him now, we're going to be able to flip him later for 20 or whatever the numbers were. I can't remember what we paid for him. I do not remember, but I know it was a lot. But they were expecting to the guy from Atlanta, Joseph Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
Like we took a guy who was a known product, brought him, and then tried to flip him up as soon as the deal was right, and everybody makes money. Like they're just going to become resellers. Fine, whatever. But to be able to do it at academy level, why not? It effectively becomes another stream of revenue. And if they can sell out one player every air quote graduating class, then hooray, because then it justifies the whole operation. It starts to cover its own itself. And not only that, but it would lead to arguably more investment. Like, well, we're selling on a player every year for anywhere between $600,000 to $1.5 million every year. Why don't we get two players? You know what I mean? You just start to think of ways, how can we ramp up the production of our factory? And why not? If the end result's turning out players, so be it. And if it means that a kid is going to choose going to TFC over going to University of Akron, go Zips. So be it. And if it just means that the player is going to go through them rather than the other means that have existed, whatever. As long as that player gets a job out of this when they're all said and done, I'm happy for it, and I have really not that much of a problem with it.
I agree. It's the place of, the football pyramid is smaller fish get eaten by bigger fish. It's just the way it's always been. So two things on this. I agree with Mark. If you can produce that talent, that's just the way football works for, smaller leagues, smaller teams feeding into bigger. Not that Rosenborg is necessarily bigger than TFC, but you get what I mean. But I guess the only thing about oftentimes with smaller clubs developing talent and then selling them up, usually, they play with that first team and make a name for themselves, and they're the big fish in the small pond. Lots of fish analogies here, but so you would have kind of expected someone like Nelson. I know he played with the first team but guys are usually sold when they've had a CV of excellence at that club who's selling them on, and they get sold on to a bigger team. This is kind of interesting that I don't know where to put TFC and Rosenborg in the grand scheme of world football, but for argument's sake, let's say selling sideways out of the, from the academy is interesting. It's part of it, but it would be nice to see TFC also develop some talent for their starting 11 as well, that lasts 2 or 3 seasons before they're bought up by a bigger club. But the other point about this transfer specifically that I find optimistic is that Rosenborg, a team probably with a modest transfer kitty spent that kind of money on Jaden Nelson, probably means they're going to use him.
Yeah.
Well, they have
they already put out a nice welcome video, a nice announcement video and stuff for him. So that was lovely.
If a team like that is putting out that kind of cash, they probably have every intention of him being a starter. So that's a good thing.
Oh, I hope that I want him to be successful. I hope this is wildly successful for him. I'm a big fan of his, and I think he's very talented. And I think, he has a huge career ahead of him. I fully believe that. He's only 20. There's so much time for him to learn and to grow and to do things. It's just, I think for me, a lot of this is, born of and wrapped up in years of frustration with Toronto FC, or even just Canadian MLS teams. But obviously TFC, since that's the one we pay most attention to and we follow, going through this, really obnoxious cycle where for again, like I said, for 5 minutes, they're like, oh, the academy, oh, youth players, oh, we're going to use them because we have no choice, is what it turns out to be. And then we're going to ignore them. We're going to either not re-sign them and, ferry them off to other clubs. Or if you're lucky, if you're someone, you're very talented, like Jaden Nelson, possibly Shaquille Mahil-Ruddy, who, again, hugely talented, has a huge career ahead of him. He's the other one that, they're either shopping around or people are making inquiries about. And that's great. It's great if they have these opportunities and they get to move on to probably bigger clubs, better clubs, make money, go to Europe, because every player still wants to go to Europe, which I don't blame them, right? Why would you?
The ceiling is much higher there.
Yeah. There's so much opportunity, right? So anyway, I am happy for Jaden. I am sad for Toronto.
In the grand scheme of things for Canadian football, I don't care where they're being developed. As long as they're going to places where, and they're going to decent places. I would include, for a young Canadian player, a good team in the Norwegian League. Sure, it's a good start.
Yeah, for sure.
Give it a few years. If he excels, don't be surprised if he's in France or somewhere like that in a few years. Yeah. And that's the way it goes. So for Canadian football, I don't really care where they're coming out of, but from Toronto, you would, for the good of the club, you would hope that you just wonder how many talents have slipped through their fingers, or, hopefully guys' careers aren't being just, didn't get the opportunity and they're not even getting seen by a bigger club, right. A chance like Jaden Nelson here. You got to wonder. But anyway.
But anyway. Good luck, Jaden. We'll miss getting to watch you and your floppy hair.
Enjoy the fjords.
Indeed. Yes, we talked about that a lot. A couple more things. That's good.
Always.
Yes.
Fjord heavy show.
Oh yeah, we're big on fjords.
Up the fjords and then back down them, and then back up.
Tromsø.
So,
they shot Empire
one of
Strikes
the other
Back away.
Sort of interesting things that we haven't talked about. That sort of was announced or officially announced in the last week or so, is that Copa America 2024, CONCACAF is going to participate.
Copa Americas.
Exactly. So CONCACAF has announced that the Confederation has agreed with the South American governing body, CONMEBOL, for 6 of its teams to participate in the 2024 Copa America tournament, to be held in, of course, the United States, because it's always held in the United States.
Hey, it's the only country in the Americas who went through the trouble
capable.
who went through the trouble of putting America in their name.
Oh, it's so annoying that it's always in the U.S.
Someone had to respect Amerigo Vespucci.
but Kristen, what about money?
What about money, Mark?
I mean, the altruism of maybe it could be held somewhere else is, I I've that ship sailed. My pessimism's too strong. So anyway, yes,
It's
Copa
just
America.
annoying. Copa
Won't
America.
someone think of the bankers?
Yeah, blessed be the billionaires.
Part of this, of course, is that, teams within all of North America, but, like South America wants to get in on some, World Cup excitement leading up to 2026, right? So this is where all the football is happening, apparently, for the next 3 years. And then no one will care ever again. No, hopefully I'm kidding.
It's all Americas.
So like it is an exciting thing. Like I think ultimately it's a good thing. It'll be great for teams within the region. Presumably you would expect Canada to be one of the.
Yeah, they haven't asked how, or they haven't talked about qualifying from it. Like, is it going to be out of the Gold Cup or something, or Gold Cup put on hold, or?
Oh no, Gold Cup's not put on hold.
All right. So is it going to be like you have to finish top 6 in Gold Cup to qualify for this, or is it going to be the top 6 like ranked teams?
I think it's the top 6 ranked teams.
Right.
If they finish, here we go. Nations League. So Nations League matters.
Oh, Christ.
Fuck. Exactly. So if they finish among the top 6, you got to be the top 6 of the 2023-24 CONCACAF Nations League advances to Copa America for 2024.
It's cool and all for fans of national teams.
But it is more matches, it's more matches. It's ultimately it's good.
It's good. It's for Canada. It's good. It's good competition if they make it in a meaningful. Yeah. It's funny. It strikes me funny though. Like I couldn't imagine anywhere else in the world where the who would be so willy-nilly with their continent's main cup though. Could you imagine the Euros inviting few African teams or a few Asian teams just to
like from the ANC who finished top 4 in the ANC this year? Come on down.
New Zealand, drop in. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but whatever. At the same time, it'll make for good football, so it'd be interesting and it'd be fun. I'm not shitting on it anyway. I just find it funny that CONMEBOL, it's because money, but they don't need to invite any CONCACAF teams. But I guess Mexico and the States is a big draw for them. So,
for sure. But the other interesting thing, it's sort of parceled into this because there's a couple different things that are happening within this new sort of collaboration between the two regions, between CONMEBOL and CONCACAF.
It's very hip hop.
Indeed.
CONMEBOL featuring.
Is Calvin Harris involved in this? So CONMEBOL, is it 4 CONMEBOL women's teams already selected somehow, but that's fine, will participate in the brand new Women's Gold Cup next year.
All right.
So that's,
hey, if the men invited, cool. if the men's Gold Cup invited South Korea all those years ago, why not?
So it'll be it's Brazil, Colombia, Argentina, and Paraguay who will be participating in the first Women's Gold Cup next year. So that's kind of cool. So so there seems to be some, back and forth here in terms of, all right, well, we're gonna do this, and then on this side we'll do this, and it is good because it does give an opportunity for teams, both men's and women's, for a variety of countries to play, some top tier talent, play within your region, which, yes, you're bringing players in from overseas, but once they're here, like it's a lot easier in terms of like travel and participation, that kind of thing, as long as the US aren't being dicks about visas and stuff. They would never do that.
Is this the beginning of CONMEBOL CACAF?
Conkaball?
Conkaball. That sounds like a new sport, like pickleball.
Well, pickleball's huge right now, so
but Conkaball would be amazing. Don't ask what it looks like. It's fun.
It's now Conkaball.
Conga Ball. It's a great name. It's the best name in FIFA I've ever had.
Thank you.
Screw you, UEFA. Conga Ball is here.
Conga Ball is here. So yeah, so out of, we usually sort of like roll our eyes at whenever you see, oh, CONCACAF has something cool to announce. It's just like, oh no, please gods no, please don't announce anything. No, but this, I'm pretty excited about all of these things. Actually,
I'm only going to call the tournament Conga Ball now. You know that.
I know that.
It's not going to be Copa America. It's Conga Ball.
I love it.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's 24, right? Next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, Conga Ball 24. Woohoo!
So, moving on from that, what's coming up? And really, there's only one thing coming up since, Coachella isn't being live streamed. So annoying. Is the She Believes Cup. It's very exciting.
Is it in Belize?
No, where is everything held? In the US.
That's a bad, V, not a Z.
The She Believes Cup would be amazing.
She Believes.
Yes.
You better believe it.
Believes that.
Got that right.
You got that right. Nice.
It's my number one. It's my number one.
Number one tournament.
Yeah.
My number one cup. I don't know. Sorry. Very, very, very quickly.
How quick? Go on.
One of the trialists for TFC, his name is Benny.
Oh.
Go on.
Yeah, hold on. Where is it? Scrolling. Where is he? Is he forward? No, he's Al Hassan Benny. He's a trialist at forward. And I was just I in my head I had something like Benny, your number one scorer.
Please.
Like I was pretty proud of that. Pretty proud of that.
Niche.
Yes, incredibly niche. Like I know nothing about who this person is at all. I just saw it and that was what like jumped into my brain, and then I forgot to mention it earlier. But like, yeah, that was the absolute first thing. You're
a real maestro.
Thanks, Mad Dog. Yeah, I know nothing about this person, so that's fine. But yeah. Anyway, so the She Believes Cup starts next week. And as much as we want to play in the Car Salesman tournament again, this is likely better for the WNT, the XNT heading into the World Cup.
You, says Arnold Clark.
Sorry, Arnold.
Purveyor of fine used automobiles.
Yes, I promise I will buy my next used automobile from you.
Get a quality Vauxhall from Arnold Clark.
Vauxhall? Damn it. Anyway.
They're surely one of Mark's favorite non-league teams, Vauxhall Motors.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, though, I can only think of the warm-up kits for England rather than any other particular club. And it's escaping me. No, it wasn't Derby, was it? No. Vauxhall was on the front of who?
Oh yeah, I can't remember. Was it Coventry?
Oh yeah.
No.
Actually, we for some reason we
something
were
with an R.
Like Rushden Diamonds.
Like something like that. No.
Oh God, this is. Yeah, we can hear you yelling. It was not Luton, was it?
No.
I'm seeing it on a white shirt. That's why.
Yeah, when you said Coventry, right. Like the color, but not the right name. Okay.
Anyway,
we'll have to.
I'm on it.
Anyway, so this is they're playing the U.S., they're playing Brazil, and they're playing Japan, and that's great competition to test your players, to have as competition that you could run up against if you're not already going to run up against them in the World Cup. So this is very good in that regards. Gives Bev Priestman, something we already talked about, an opportunity to play some of the younger players because of who's available. Unfortunately, missing Desiree Scott, who is just she's not recovered from the surgery to repair the injury she picked up at the end of the NWSL season last year. So she just sort of announced that recently. So that is a big loss in the midfield. Deanne Rose and Nichelle Prince both still out with Achilles issues, but yeah, I know.
No,
but
Mark was
hopefully,
right. But I'm saying fuck because Mark was fucking right as usual
About
what?
Luton Town.
Yes, he was.
It was Luton. Oh, damn.
I don't know how I'm trying to find a kit that shows it, and anyway. So
I'm only I found a graphic, not an actual picture, but yeah, you were bang on. Umbro kits.
Oh,
Damn.
Umbro.
It was
miss
blue
you so
though.
much.
Well, maybe there
Yeah,
was a white one probably, but they're 89 to 92 apparently.
Huh.
yeah, according to museumofjerseys.com.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too.
That's a real ass site, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I found a picture of an orange one, the orange home one.
Oh, glorious.
It's the
isn't
same
it?
design, but it's orange. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Apologies for this yet another digression.
But yet another win
Must
for Mark.
digress.
Sorry.
Good job,
Anyway.
Mark.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for the support. Okay. So
What are we talking about?
the women's national team
Yes.
playing in the She Believes Cup
She believes.
as a warm up to the World Cup, and players that are injured who are not appearing. That's where we were.
Yes.
You're welcome. So anyway, it's still a very good squad, even though it's missing most of the players that are playing in England and in Europe. But all the NWSL players and a couple lower league European players will be participating. And again, that's great because it gives Bev a look at a couple different players. But really, really interesting will be to see Clarissa Larisse because she has been on fire for her club team lately. She can do no wrong right now. So to have her in the mix, playing up front with, Janine Becky, who, honestly, she's so much better when she's not playing as an out and out striker. But Steve Jordan Heidema, some playing time. But anyway, I'm really excited to see Clarissa Larisse right now. And obviously Evelyn Viens because she's fire. So
Yeah, she is.
she's so good.
She's so good.
Anyway,
Ridiculous.
I look at this squad and I'm excited to see all of these players. Like there's so many good players. So even when missing, the top tier players that are over playing in England and such, and the injured players, I still look at this lineup, this squad, and be like, and there's so many talented players here. And I totally forgot that Alicia Chapman is back on this side of the pond and playing in NWSL now. So that's huge too, right?
I forget. Yeah, I remember seeing Houston Dash's socials. They were going on about, should we just be Team Canada South or something like that? It's like, you've got
Pretty
to calm
much.
down. Or they have 2 or 3 Canadians on the team, but either way, it's like, get to 5
I think
and
it's
we'll
3.
have a talk.
There's
Okay?
yeah. I'm like, I feel like Portland might have a word with you.
Yeah, exactly.
And the OL Reign, like there's like 2 or 3 NWSL teams that are, starting to stockpile Canadian talent, which I think is delightful.
Yeah, no, stockpile away. Let me know if you need more. Plenty of stock. But anyway, yeah. I think I got announced. I want to say it was is it just before, or just after Christmas? Like it was not that long ago. Anyway,
The squad was announced just last week.
no, I meant
Alicia. Yeah, I think you're right. And I think maybe it just sort of got lost in, post-holiday shuffle kind of thing for my brain. I just forgot.
I mean, come on, guys, eggnog. Not that I drink it, but I mean, I'm going to blame it.
So, and then I took a quick, I like, I don't know. Maybe when I used to pay more attention to all the players on other clubs, but maybe the Americans more. I looked at the American squad and I was like, okay, I recognize some of these players, mostly because they play in the WSL and that's where I see them play, or they're like really well known. But again, pretty strong side. Again, the Americans have a lot of talent. Somehow Megan Rapinoe is still playing. Sure.
Why not?
She's so annoying.
Yeah.
But like, there's a couple players for that match. So that match is next Thursday. It's 7:30. Should be on Fubo or One Soccer, however you watch Canadian teams. If you have organized a watch party, please let the Voyageurs know. Apparently, it's going up against some big hockey games. I don't know, but like, there's some really good players on the American side as well. You can see Rose Lavelle and obviously Alex Morgan, Crystal Dunn, Trinity Rodman. Fucking love her. She's just so much fun to watch. So like, it should be a good competitive match. I know we'll talk more about the Brazilian match and the match against Japan next week, because those are several more days later. But I think this should be a good tournament. I hope. I want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, the nice part about these tournaments is when it's really like the precursor to a bigger tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They go for it. Like, they're trying to go for it. And I don't mean like I don't mean just the hosts, because like obviously the hosts are going to go for it, but the guests are also like, they're looking to firm up their rosters, whittle out those last spots that aren't quite concrete. And tournaments like this tend to bring the best out of people. It's not like, it's different when like the tournaments that are just kind of, hey, everybody's off, you want to do a thing? Like, that's not what I want. I want something that's at least competitive, at least for spots, and this is going to do the trick. So I'm expecting this to be a not that it's ever players going through the motions, but this, I don't expect this to be that at all at any point against anyone. Will be fun. So
again, there's 3 matches. 2 of them are very easily watched. Like I said, the first match, sort of the marquee match, Canada versus the US, next Thursday, 7:30. And then the match against Brazil is on the following Sunday, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I think. The one against Japan, which is on a Wednesday, is at like 4 in the afternoon or something. So that one's going to be a bit trickier for most people to watch. But if you can have a cheeky watch while you're at work, not too shabby a thing. Why not? But we will talk about this more next week, and we'll do our predictions for the Canada-US match. I think we'll do all our predictions next week. The only other thing that I wish to bring up before we say farewell is that unless I hope everyone's aware, unless you've been living under a rock, everyone should probably be pretty aware about the earthquake that has ravaged Turkey and Syria right now, and number of Canadian players that play in Turkey. As far as we know, they are all safe. They are all well, and that is a relief. But lots of people have lost their lives, homes, everything. A restaurant that used to be in my neighborhood, the owners, 2 brothers, very nice people. It's called The Good Fork. It's here in Toronto. You should go eat there. It's amazing. They're Turkish, and I'd reached out to them just to check on them because family, friends. Their village was basically the epicenter and is like gone. Everyone they know, as far as they know, is safe, which is a big relief. Most of their family has moved on to other places, but still, like, you never know how this affects, maybe you personally, but also, again, thousands of people already lost their lives. So Atiba and Sam Adekugbe, happy birthday, Atiba. Also, happy birthday, Tajon Buchanan. Have done some interviews. We're doing interviews today with TSM, with Rick Westhead, and have like their own section in the Red Cross to donate, to help, but also, if not the Red Cross, there's a local-based campaign from ABAP, which is another local relief agency. And so those are two places that they are requesting, if you're able, to donate to help with the disaster relief. So just wanted to put that out there, because you'll probably see it on social media all over the place, in terms of like asking for donations. But if you want to help, people that you sort of know directly, or who are like supporting this and are really asking for this, this is a way to do it.
Excellent.
And we'll put the links for that in the show notes as well.
We will absolutely do that.
So that is really it for next week. There's always stuff that we could talk about. We could talk about Jesse Marsh, Chris Armas. How does he manage to sort of fail up? I don't even understand this.
Extortion's real.
But Jesse Marsh, man, like, well, we should get into that more next week, but I find it hilarious. He just, I don't know, man. Maybe head coaching is just not his thing. Coming soon to an MLS club near you. The return of Jesse Marsh.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure St. Louis has got him already lined up.
It's coming. It's coming.
And if they don't, somebody does. Someone absolutely does.
Exactly.
Ken's their manager. It's after only getting 3 points in their first 5 games.
Exactly.
That'll be great. The return of the king.
All right. Well, then that has been our show for this week. Everybody, thank you so much for listening, for joining us through this very, very distracted recording with all the different tangents. Please join us next week. Yes.
Just a bit. No. We were a bit distracted, including right there.
Oh yeah. Easily just, it's like what? Squirrel? Mm-hmm.
Remember the part about up the creek? That was good.
Oh my God. That was such a good thing.
No, not Dawson's Creek. Stop that.
I know, but I'm going to do it every time because you don't like it. So join us next week when we talk more about the She Believes Cup, see how TFC are faring at the Coachella Festival. Got to find out how Bernie's second set went, and see if any other Voyageurs Cup matches have to be played in bizarrely neutral locations, and more. I have been joined by 2 of our 3 usual panelists, to be found out there on the Twitters at Malarkey FC, Mr. Tony Walsh.
Up the creek. Sounds like a football chat, actually. Up the creek. Yeah.
On the tweet machines at KitNerdMark with a K, not a Q, Mr. Mark Hinkley.
Thank you to everybody who continues to support our podcast via Patreon. We absolutely appreciate it, as always. We still have shirts. Tony did a bunch of good stuff. You could find that link on our website, vocalminority.ca. Look for the Zazzle shop. You'll also find on our show notes the link that Kristen had mentioned about the Red Cross. Please give what you can. And every time you say up the creek, I think suburban Hamilton, Stony Creek. If they only had a football club where, that would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
But Black Creek, I guess, also would work too if you have that kind of frame of mind.
Delightful. As for me, you can find me on the internet. Yes, the entire internet at KZ Knowles. I have been your host, Kristen Knowles. And until next week, Canada, get used to it.